Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new to our family of royal enthusiasts, we're thrilled to have you with us today. We bring you behind-the-scenes stories from the British royal family that are filled with twists, turns, and moments that shape the future of the monarchy. If you're here for the first time, we promise you're in for a treat. Today's story is one that you won't want to miss. As the world watches the British monarchy, a quiet yet profoundly dramatic shift is taking place behind the velvet curtains of Buckingham Palace. While the public is mesmerized by the ceremonies and the royal duties of Prince William and Princess Catherine, a new and unsettling chapter is unfolding. Prince William finds himself caught in the middle of a deeply emotional family crisis that has just been triggered by Princess Anne's shocking revelation. The story involves King Charles's final wishes, a situation that has thrown the royal family into turmoil, and at the heart of it all is Prince William's struggle with the shock of these developments. When Princess Anne, the steadfast protector of royal tradition, shared the contents of King Charles's private memorandum, it sent shockwaves through Buckingham Palace. The request made by King Charles in his fragile state of health was nothing short of earth-shattering. It was a wish that would completely alter the established order within the royal family, one that would have profound implications for the monarchy's future. As King Charles faces the battle of his life against cancer, his decision to elevate Queen Camilla's children, Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopez, by granting them royal titles and financial guarantees came as a blow to Prince William, who was left reeling from the implications. For William, a man who has spent his entire life preparing to lead the monarchy with dignity and respect for its traditions, the idea that his father would take such a drastic step for the sake of his second wife and her children was nothing short of a betrayal. Prince William had always been taught that the monarchy, its history, and its legacy were sacred, and now his father was prepared to throw that all away. The shock was not just emotional for William, but deeply strategic. His mind immediately raced through the consequences, constitutional complications, media uproar, and the potential erosion of his own power as future king. Princess Anne, always the unwavering protector of the monarchy's traditions, found herself in the center of this storm. As the family's institutional memory and the most senior royal after the monarch, Anne's role in this saga cannot be overstated. She stood firmly against King Charles's wishes, warning that this would cause confusion within the royal lineage and risk undermining the integrity of the crown. Anne's objections were not just procedural, they were deeply personal. She had spent her entire life serving the crown, keeping the royal family's best interests at heart, and she saw this as an attack on everything her late mother, Queen Elizabeth II, had worked for. In a private dinner at Clarence House, Anne read aloud King Charles's controversial memorandum. The atmosphere was thick with tension as the family gathered around the dinner table. Anne's words were calculated, each sentence carefully delivered to drive home the gravity of the situation. When she finished reading, she folded the letter and looked directly at her brother, Prince Charles, with a gaze that held the weight of history. The tension was palpable. King Charles, emotionally overwhelmed, grabbed Camilla's hand, his eyes brimming with tears. But it was William, the future king, whose reaction was the most striking. He froze. His mind spun as he tried to process his father's shocking move. The years of tradition, the family's legacy, everything seemed to come crashing down around him. What followed in the days after that moment was a deep internal struggle for Prince William. His sense of duty was clear: protect the monarchy, preserve its integrity, and safeguard the future of the royal family. But his personal feelings were in turmoil. How could his father, a man who had always emphasized duty and tradition, now be willing to break from those very principles? In the quiet of Adelaide Cottage, late at night, William walked the lamplit gardens, dictating voice notes to his advisors. His mind was clouded with a mix of constitutional panic and a genuine concern for his family's future. Three main worries kept him up at night: the question of succession, the impact on royal property, and the public's growing scrutiny of the royal family. The first concern, succession, was rooted in a decades-old law that restricted the use of royal titles to the biological children of the monarch. King Charles's decision to grant titles to Camilla's children seemed to defy this principle, and William feared that it could open the door for Parliament to reconsider the royal titles of his own children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. The second issue was real estate. Royal Lodge, the historic residence that Prince Andrew currently occupies, was seen as a potential inheritance for William and Catherine's family. William had privately hoped to move his children into the property after Andrew's contract expired, but now that it was being considered for Camilla's children, it felt like a betrayal of both history and personal intention. But perhaps the most pressing concern for William was the public perception of the monarchy. In an age where transparency and public trust are more important than ever, the idea of granting titles to Camilla's children seemed to invite further scandal. With the monarchy already under fire for perceived excess and privilege, William feared that such a move could lead to the kind of public backlash that would harm the Crown's standing with the British public. His actions were becoming more calculated, more strategic, as he sought to find a way to navigate this dangerous political landscape without alienating his family or the public. What followed was a tense standoff between the various factions of the royal family. While Anne and William aligned on the need to preserve the monarchy's dignity, Charles's desire to protect his wife and her children led him down a different path. The situation grew even more complex as Charles's health continued to deteriorate. King Charles was no longer the powerful monarch he once was. Now, he was a sovereign in decline, and his decisions were becoming more fraught with emotion and uncertainty. Behind closed doors, negotiations began to take shape. Princess Anne, ever the voice of reason, sought to find a middle ground that would preserve the Crown's integrity, while also acknowledging the emotional reality of Charles's wishes. Meanwhile, William, ever the strategist, took legal action to ensure that any future decisions regarding royal titles were made with the utmost care and foresight. It was a game of chess, with the future of the monarchy hanging in the balance. The possibility of a compromise began to emerge, one that would offer financial security to Camilla's children without granting them full royal titles. This proposal, though far from perfect, seemed to be the only way forward for a monarchy in crisis. Anne, despite her reservations, seemed willing to approve the deal, provided that it did not violate the long-standing rules of royal lineage. William, too, appeared to agree, though with a sense of resignation. He knew that the monarchy would have to adapt, but he was determined that it should not lose its sense of tradition in the process. As the days pass, the future of the British monarchy remains uncertain. Will Prince William's vision for a more modern monarchy prevail, or will the demands of tradition and family loyalty prevail over reform? Will King Charles find the strength to make the hard decisions that will secure the monarchy's future, or will his emotional ties to his second family cause irreparable damage? The road ahead is fraught with challenges, but one thing is certain: the monarchy is at a crossroads. Prince William's leadership, his ability to navigate this delicate political landscape, will define the future of the Crown. Whether he succeeds or fails, the decisions made in the coming weeks will reverberate for generations to come. What do you think, dear viewers? Is Prince William right to push for a more modern monarchy? Should Camilla's children be granted titles, or is this a step too far? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming royal stories.